My name is Mike Whiffler. I served 26 years. I did not fly. My main means of transportation are my Marine Corps Cadillacs. I never had a bailout, never had a blowout, but I did appreciate a ride, whether it was tracks, wheels, or rotors. During my service, I did 1 year in Vietnam, came out only slightly injured. Very grateful to the service of my fellow Marines and the other forces there. I've been a volunteer here at the museum for 16 years. It's a great joy being part of it. We get some incredible visitors that come through, and just being associated with some great Marine aviators is a real, I'm happy to spend what time I do out here.
All right, well, talking to you is a bonus. I wasn't expecting to meet somebody who's got all this knowledge. 16 years here in this.
Yes, I have. All right, Mike Whiffler with the Flying Leatherneck Aviation Museum. Thank you for coming out today. Welcome aboard Lady Ace 09, the CH-46 medium-sized helicopter that evacuated Ambassador Martin from the embassy in Saigon, Vietnam in 1975, when it was apparent that the North Vietnamese were taking over and American lives were in peril. It was one of about 75 helicopters that flew off the ships off the coast, and some Air Force helicopters and CIA helicopters that were nearby evacuated about 7,000 Americans and friendly Vietnamese to get them to safety before the communists took over the city. Finally, the President Ford gave a direct order to Ambassador Martin to get aboard the next helicopter because it was going to be one of the last ones to be able to get him, which he did. He complied, removed the flag, and flew out to the ship. Also, it's just an aluminum body, so it didn't stop bullets. I mean, there were often damage to some of these lines that it made it imperative that the crew chief have immediate access to them. There's a little bit of armor plating around the cockpit, not necessarily to protect the pilot, but to protect the main mechanical connections to the rotor system. Without your rotors going around, the helicopter's not going to stay in the air very long, so it's important that they be protected. Bullets going through the fuselage could hurt the troops being carried, but not necessarily disable the aircraft. It goes back far before it became an air station. It was an artillery training area, Camp Kearney, and it was important during the early days of aviation in San Diego to have a flying field. Of course, at that time it was out in the Mesa land. It was barren. There were nobody around. It was a safe place for airplanes to fall out of the sky. And but originally the Marines flew out of here, and then as the war developed, Second World War, and we needed more training facilities, the Marines built airfields out at El Central, Santa Barbara, Orange County, at El Toro, and several other spots. So we transferred out of Miramar, and it became a naval air station, and was for many years the home of Top Gun and Fighter Town until '99, when the Marines moved down from El Toro and reoccupied Miramar. It's been our home since 1999. The museum reopened its doors in 2001, and we're still one of the active tenants here. It's the Flying Leatherneck Aviation Museum. It's located on the air station at Miramar. However, we have our own gate in the Miramar fence line. You don't have to go through a sentry. We're open every day except Monday, 9 to 3:30. We're always free admission, free parking. I have difficulty imagining myself going to another services facility and telling their story, because I had such a good time in the Marines.
Right.
My wife cautions me. She says, watch their eyes when they start to glaze over, quit talking. Have not learned that lesson yet, so I'm going to babble until the camera gets turned off.